Now, U.S. markets finished mixed today as chip makers continue to weigh on Wall Street. The Dow Jones gained, though, 182 points. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ, as you see there, both in the red. Chip stocks sold off about midway through the session. NVIDIA and Intel each down about 0.5%. And it comes as a report from the Yale Budget Lab finds, I'm going to repeat this, no clear evidence of labor market disruption from AI. The report looked at churn across occupations and found AI exposure among the unemployed is flat. It says the rate follows pre-AI trends and falls within historical ranges. Since last October, many companies have cut jobs as they focus on AI investment and restructuring, including Amazon, Cisco, and Salesforce. Martha Gimbel is the co-founder and executive director of the Budget Lab, and we're glad to have you here. Thanks for sticking around as we waited through that press conference from the president. As you see, though, there are lots of companies, we've heard it, we've covered it here on this show, cutting their workforces as they become more AI focused. You're seeing something there that really indicates there is not going to be a severe disruption. What explains that? It is only because it's looking in the rearview mirror? Do you expect more to come?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's important to say that this is backward-looking analysis. This is not a prediction about where we're going to be in a year, 5 years, 10 years. And so much of that is going to depend on non-technological factors like how fast companies figure this technology out. Do they get certainty on liability questions, things like that. I do want to follow up on, you mentioned companies that have said that they are cutting jobs due to AI. And one of the things I think is really important there is that they have largely said that they're cutting jobs to make more capital investments in AI, which is different than we can replace our workforces with AI and don't need to use them anymore.
And that goes to the issue of productivity, right? And when will we see those gains? Top of mind, though, for so many is, what we heard out of the New York Fed. That data says that unemployment rates for recent college graduates has been upwards of 5.5%, and that's just over the last few months. The timing certainly aligns with all of these AI headlines that we were getting. Is there any evidence there that entry-level jobs, though, are being cut?
Yeah, it really doesn't look like AI is impacting entry-level jobs at this time. Um, there's evidence, for instance, from the Economic Innovation Group that the labor market is bad for young workers, but for both those with a college degree and without, which suggests that whatever's going on is not AI. I think what makes it particularly hard is, frankly, economists don't have a good explanation for what's happening with young workers right now. We've ruled a bunch of things out, but we haven't explained it. And so, I graduated in 2009, and that was a bad labor market, but I knew why. And so I think it's very frustrating for young people where there isn't an explanation for why it's harder to find a job than it used to be.
Yeah, and as you said, there's no one that seems to be able to pull the curtain back from that. And the indication is really in the fact of when you look at the statistics themselves. I mean, even Kevin Warsh was really signaling that the data may not be all it's cracked up to be, and we'll see what the Fed can do about that going forward. I am wondering, though, and I know you hate to make predictions here, but when you look at what is happening and what you guys study, do you believe we are in for a disruption one way or the other?
I think we're almost certainly going to see technological displacement due to this technology. The question is how fast and how broad. I think one of the things that people like me really worry about is that, frankly, we in this country and in many countries are not good at handling that kind of disruption. We don't have a particularly robust social safety net. We're not good at retraining. And so, who knows what this will end up looking like? But no matter what, I think the transition is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, and as you said, there is still no plan to deal with that. I only have about a minute left, but I do want to point out that you wrote an article recently on how government spending has been driving up borrowing costs for Americans throughout the last decade. I mean, music to my ears. I've been arguing this for a long time in terms of debts and deficits in the U.S., but you are the expert. How do you see it? And how much does that really impact affordability for Americans?
Yeah, so one of the things that we calculated here is that Congress's actions on the deficit since 2015 mean that people are paying basically the equivalent of an additional mortgage payment every year because of that increase in interest costs. That's the kind of thing that's pernicious. It's hidden. There's not a line on your mortgage statement that says this amount due to Congress's actions. And so I think it's hard for people to see it directly, but it's affecting all of us.
Yeah, it's affecting everyone. And I do know we just had that extended press conference in the Oval Office with the president. And even though the new Fed chair may need to be more hawkish, it doesn't look like interest rates, as much as the president wants them to decrease, are going to decrease anytime soon. Martha Gimbel, we have to leave it there. Again, we'll have you back on, though. We learned a lot. Really appreciate you being so patient.
Thank you for having me.